I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are loads of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. You can download those in US letter or A4 and they'll accompany each step of this series. There's also a page with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and also on that website you can access the information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam, and it's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time on exam day when you're actually working through your paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there for you. If you give me a like, that'd be really great, and do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And so now we're going to have a look at the remaining questions on paper B of the 2017 grade 2 practice papers. So if you turn with me to page 9, we'll have a look at question 7. So here we go, question 7. So have a crack at this yourself first of all. Doesn't matter if you go wrong. Always write in pencil. You'll have your trusty eraser to hand, and so you can always rub them out and have another go. Use a sharp pencil. I use a mechanical pencil just so it stays sharp. So we're switching clefs here, jumping around clefs, naming these notes. We asked to add the correct clef to make each of these notes named, as shown in the first answer. Now a lot of these are going to have ledger lines, and so we might be a bit off map from notes that we're familiar with. So if you find a note that you are familiar with, and just work it from there. So you could think, well, we know it goes good boys deserve, so that's G, F, E, D. Alternatively, you could count up an octave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So good boys deserve, we know it's D, but an octave lower. Here we could either work out that if this was in bass clef, good boys deserve football, always A, one above A is B, or you could think there's middle C, we're one step below middle C in the bass clef. Of course it's B flat, but we don't need to concern ourselves with that. So here, let's work this out from middle C. So C, B, A in the treble clef makes sense, and that's that answer. So you just have to sort of try one, and if it doesn't fit, then you know you've got the next clef and try that. So if we count in treble clef, every good boy deserves football, F, G, A, B, C. That would work, so it's treble clef. Alternatively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In treble clef, that's F, A, C, an octave higher. So we know that needs to be treble clef. We know that bass clef, the lines are good boys deserve, so there's G of the bass clef. If we put that in the treble clef, that would be an E, so that's our. So if you start with treble clef and think, oh, no, that's wrong, then you find that bass clef will work by a process of elimination. So in the treble clef, every good boy deserves football, so there we know that's a treble clef F. Now here, let's just work this out an octave higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did that because I usually go line 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, just to speed things up a bit. So in the bass clef, all cows, so we know that's bass clef C, but an octave lower than this one. There we go. Getting there, quite a few to be getting through. So thinking about middle C, if middle C is there, one below middle C is B, that would have to be treble clef to make that correct. Because middle C is at the bottom of the treble, the top of the bass. And then we know that the bass clef, all cows eat grass, that's the bottom A flat in bass clef. Now here, remember the middle C is at the top of the treble, so C, D, E, top of the bass, bottom of the treble. So this is bass clef, here's middle C line at the top, C, D, E, that has to be bass clef. And then we know in the treble clef, every good boy deserves, so that's a G sharp in treble clef. There we go. So moving on to the next question, we now have our multiple choice. So we have to tick one box that gives the correct definition to the term or the musical sign. And so remember, this is a mixture of everything from grade 1 and from grade 2. Don't presume that multiple choice makes it easier. Sometimes that can just throw you off scent a little bit. So just keep your eyes peeled. There's no alternative but just to revise these. So the given is the first one. Simile means in the same way, continue in the same way. Not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Larghetto. Now largo means slow. Larghetto means rather slow. Vivo means lively or quick. So if you were thematically grouping these for your revision purposes, you would have that grouped with Allegro from your grade 1. You could even colour code it to help you. So SF means forced, accented. Da capo is a repeat term, and it means repeat from the beginning, unlike dal segno, which is repeat back to the sign, which would be that one, that would be DS. So staccato means detached, and there we go, job done for that question. So turn over the page and we've got the last question 9 to be looking at, where all of the questions refer to this little extract of music. And so we're going to have a look at these questions and we'll have to do a bit of shuffling the page up and down. So they've very helpfully told us that this is in the melody, dearie me, this melody is in the key of A major. That was tricky. So we need to name the degree of the scale of the first note of the melody. So you can either just work out some ledger lines, or we could even write out the degrees of the scale. We know we're in A major. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A takes us back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we have an E, and we know that E is the 5th, so that will tell us. Or we could just work out with some ledger lines, C, B, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and count it up that way. That's a 5th, we've worked that one out. So give the bar number of a bar that contains all the notes of the triad, the tonic triad of A major. So we've done a bit of thinking here for this already, because we know the tonic triad is built of the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. So we're looking for an A, a C, and an E. Now they may not be in that order. So we've got an E, but we've got nothing else here in this bar that relates to this triad. So we've got a C, E, A, C. So bar 2, that's one answer that will be acceptable. There may be others. Let's keep looking. I suppose if you were on your exam day, that would answer your job and you'd quickly move on to the next question, but we'll just see if there are any others, just glancing through. And actually bar 6, we've got a C, E, A, C, E. So bar 6 would also suffice. So one of those, either one of those. Answer true or false to this sentence. Every bar in this melody, dearie me, I can't read today. Every bar in this melody contains at least one semiquaver, 16th note. So we're looking for at least one of those in every single bar. It looks at first glance that that's true, however it's not true because there's not a semiquaver in bar 3. So you've just got to keep your eyes peeled there. Actually that's a false statement. Give the letter name of the lowest note in the melody, and they've helpfully reminded us to include the sharp sign if necessary in reference to the key signature. So the lowest note in the melody, bearing in mind what clef we're in, looks to be this middle C. However, after their prompting, we know that it's a C sharp because A major has got F, C, G sharps. So C sharp. How many bars contain a dotted crotchet, or as you would say, a dotted quarter note? So we're looking for one of those. So we need to count how many bars. So we've got one here, that makes 2. There's a third. There's a fourth. That's not it because that's a dotted quaver or a dotted eighth note. So the answer is 4. And now we get the nice easy 10 points literally just for copying. Just make sure we copy the right bit, so we're copying from the start of the bar, the first bar, bar 1, to the end of bar 4, exactly as it's written, and they even give us some clues. Don't forget clef, key signature, time signature, tempo, marking, dynamics, and all other details. Basically just copy everything. And I'm going to keep my bar lines aligned with theirs so that I don't get lost. So it's this top line we're copying. So it's better to just map this out first so you don't end up sort of spreading notes, or even if you squish them and you lose track which bit you're on, it's better to just keep everything aligned. That way you know you can have just the right amount of room and you won't get lost. So clef, key signature, make sure you place that correctly, time signature, tempo marking, so we need here, larghetto, that was in our multiple choice in the last question, rather slow, and cantabile, that's from your grade 1, that means in a singing manner, so a bit of revision there. And so now I'm just going to get the blobs in place. You can do this in any order you like, just as long as everything gets included. I just prefer to get everything spaced first of all. If it helps, you could even write your bar numbers in. You won't get penalised for just giving yourself that little clue. And don't forget the rest at the end. So now I'm going to do the stems and any articulation marks. Might as well put the dynamic markings in as I go along. Oh, missed a bit too keen. There we go. So we need that, and we need the crescendo marking, gradually getting louder. Use anything you can for a bit of revision. So I'm just going to have to rub out some of my scribble here, just as we were working out, because I'm going to need a diminuendo there. So there's my diminuendo. Just double check through, make sure there's nothing missing. Easy does it. That's that question completed, and that's that paper completed. I do hope that you found that helpful. I hope that you're enjoying working through this as much as I'm enjoying working through it with you. Please do give me a like, that'd be really encouraging, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store, and please do visit sharonbill.com to make use of all of the resource that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.